from JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, May the 7th, 2018. 4 Palestinian terrorists tried to breach the Gaza security fence yesterday in an attempted attack. They were shot by Israeli forces. The IDF spokesperson said the group was observed and monitored by IDF combat field observers approaching the fence in an operational manner. They then tried to infiltrate and damage the infrastructure. Israeli soldiers shot at the 4, 3 were killed. A bag was found on one of the terrorists, which contained a GoPro camera, an axe, an oxygen mask, a cutter and gloves, and 2 tanks of fuel were also found. The IDF spokesperson said the IDF will continue to operate against those who attempt to harm Israel, its civilians, or security infrastructure. On Friday, a number of Palestinian rioters set fire to the Gaza gas pipeline and vandalized areas of the fence used as crossings for Israeli and international humanitarian aid for Gaza. The IDF said Hamas's behavior is directly affecting the welfare of Gaza's residents. And today, several burning balloons were sent by Palestinian rioters over the Gaza fence, igniting large fires in 7 different locations on the Israeli side of the border. No one was hurt, but major damage was caused. The United States asked the United Nations Security Council on Friday to reject the remarks made last week in Ramallah by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. As we reported to you, Abbas apologized on Friday to those who were offended by his remarks, which included his claims that the Holocaust happened because of Jews' social behavior, like money lending. U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley presented a draft proposal on Friday which would state the Council's concern over the Abbas speech, saying its vile anti-Semitic slurs and baseless conspiracy theories do not serve the interests of the Palestinian people or peace in the Middle East. The Times of Israel, citing diplomats, said that Kuwait, a non-permanent council member that represents the Arab group of countries on the council, objected to the draft, arguing that Abbas had already apologized and that it was one-sided. Haley later wrote on social media that when the Security Council cannot reach consensus on denouncing such actions, it only further undermines the UN's credibility in addressing this critical issue. Rabbi Aaron Pankin, the president of Hebrew Union College, was killed this weekend in a plane crash. Pankin, who was a licensed pilot, was flying a small aircraft in the Hudson Valley area of New York on Saturday when the plane crashed shortly after takeoff. A passenger who was a flight instructor was injured. Pankin had led the HUC, the International Institution of Higher Learning and Seminary for Reform Judaism, since 2014. The college called him a distinguished rabbi and scholar, dedicated teacher, and exemplary leader of the Reform movement for nearly 3 decades. Pankin is survived by his wife, children, parents, and sister. He will be laid to rest tomorrow at Westchester Reform Temple in Scarsdale, New York. He was 53. Well, it appears that Paraguay will be the next country to move its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Israeli Foreign Ministry spokesperson Emmanuel Nachshon said today that President Horacio Cartes will come to Israel later this month to open the new location. Meanwhile, Israeli and U.S. flags were placed over the weekend in front of the U.S. consulate in Jerusalem, which will be the home of the new U.S. embassy when it moves from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem a week from today, on May the 14th. The Anti-Defamation League today unveiled their first ever Year of Anti-Semitism on Twitter report. Experts at the ADL's Center on Extremism said some 4.2 million anti-Semitic tweets were posted and reposted on Twitter between January the 29th of 2017 to January the 28th of 2018. ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt said this new data shows that even with the steps Twitter has taken to remove hate speech, users are still spreading a shocking amount of anti-Semitism. The ADL did say they were proud of the work already done partnering with Twitter and looked forward to continuing to do so to ensure that such platforms are a safe space for all users. Israeli company Frutarome is being purchased by the IFF, the International Flavors and Fragrances Company, an American firm, for a reported $7.1 billion, the second largest purchase of an Israeli company ever after Intel's acquisition of Mobileye in 2017. Frutarome makes flavors and fragrances for use in food, beverages, and pharmaceuticals, based in Haifa. And CEO and President Ori Yehuda said that the companies are committed to maintaining a presence in Israel. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, May the 7th, sharing the 25th anniversary of the Oslo Accords tonight with a program at 7:30 featuring Israeli architect of the Accords, Yossi Beilin, looking back 25 years later with Palestinian negotiator Gaith Al-Omari and Professor Hilda Henriksen-Wag of the Peace Research Institute of Oslo. Then at 9, Mark Golub sits down with playwright J.T. Rogers, who defends his choices in the telling of his play, Oslo. Then at 10, historian and author Simon Schama discusses part 2 of his BBC PBS series, The Story of the Jews. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, it's the ILTV program, The Debka Files. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, May the 7th, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.